Hello. Yes, okay. I will just explain it once. So this is the structure of our project. I have used just 1 second. This is outer container, and in this container, I use the vowel counter. This is heading. For this heading, I use the one div. After that, it is a text area, and after that text area, I use one button, and this button for that after that button, I use a empty div for output purpose. Now this is our first div, which is container. After that, I take one div for the heading, and the heading is vowel counter. Then the second div is class. My screen is visible. Please give reply once. Hello. Okay. Just 1 second. So I will take one div for the one div for wrapping the everything, that is container. Then the second div for the heading purpose, and in that I have take the heading vowel counter. After that I had take the second div, that is uh, for the text area. This is text area, name vowels, ID text area, and how much we have to keep its width. For that purpose, I using columns and rows, 40 columns and 10 rows, and the placeholder is enter your text area. Then for the button purpose, I use a button, and in that you use the check count. This is our button, and give the one ID, which is button. After that, I had used one empty div for the output and give the ID output. And now in this way, style. Here, give universal. I will make the, or I had made the universal padding and margin 0, and box sizing is the border box. So why are you using box sizing equals to border box? For the purpose of, because when we use the box sizing border box, then the extra width or extra padding or margin is not applicable, and everything will be, just see once, everything in one corner. After that, in the body, display flex, align item centers, and justify content center. This will make our div in the center or our body in the center. And override the height, we use the height property to the 100 or viewport height. And then I will give one background color. Choose the background color accordingly. I had take the yellowish or golden, light golden color for that purpose. And this is, here we are not concentrating on CSS more, just we see the JavaScript logic, and after that I will adjust the container, give width of give width of 400 pixels, and then we can use text align center in this way, container, then use some padding of 10 pixels, and border radius will be 15 pixels. Because of border radius, Okay. Just 1 second, guys. Border radius equals to. Okay, it's working. We will give the width of 400 pixels. Then make the text center, text line center, padding of 10 pixel, and then border radius of 15 pixels, then border radius in background color. So this is after we need the give some box shadow like 0, 0, then 10 pixel, then 7, and keep 0, then 0, 0, and 0, 0, 0, and 0. Alright. So this is box shadow. After that, we will move towards the our heading. So we make a heading, and in that we will give some margin bottom. It's- We give the margin from bottom 10, 10 pixel in this way. After that, our heading is okay. Then we will move towards the text area. And for text area, we use here, we can use ID. So text area, we give the padding of 10 pixel, then border radius of 15 pixel. So then font size equals to 14 pixel. This is all about text area. And after we going towards the button. And for the button, we use ID btn. So we can select it with the help of ID button. And then we give it font size of 20 pixel. Then margin 10 pixel. Background color. The background color background color is blue and text color is white. So color will become white and then color is white, and we will change the pointer to the change the cursor to the pointer. So cursor pointer. So pixel on the pointer. Now almost it is become the similar. Just we have to design for the output. So here we take output. Output. For the output purpose, we take the ID output. So we'll take ID output and font size equals to 20. Now we have our CSS as well as HTML is complete now, and we have to apply the logic for JS. Script.js. Now, how we will apply the logic for JS? First of all, we have to select the all these like output or text area, button, and output. So, firstly, select, and as we know, for the selecting purpose, we are using the document dot get element or document dot query selector. So, I will use the get element. So, let text area equals to document dot get element by id area. After that, we will select the button because after clicking on button, we get the output. So, the button also let button equals to document dot Create element by ID and which is button. After that, we will select the output also document dot create element by ID and give the ID output. So here we had select the everything, and after that we will add the event listener on button. Like after this button clicking, we get the counter. So we will add the event listener on that button. So already we had seen that how to use add event listener. First of all, we will select the everything, and then after selecting the everything, we use the add event listener, and add event listener takes the main two parameter, that is function and the event. So we will use the add event listener on button, because after clicking on button we using that. So button dot add event listener, and we are adding the event like click. After clicking we want one function. Here we are making a arrow function, and yes, we are making arrow function. Now here the text area is empty. So if the text area is empty and we check and we click the button check count. So after the clicking on check count, we want the output that please enter some text, because there is no text. So we'll make use the one condition if text area dot value equals to if text area value is equals to empty, then we use the condition or it showing output dot inner text equals to, we use backticks, please enter the please enter some text. And after entering the some text, we make the output dot style dot color equals to red. It will show it red color. Just click this. So we get the output. Please enter some text. We have to use that div after the check count. Just we will make that, or we use here. Just 1 second. Yes, please enter some text. Okay. Just 1 second, guys. So we get the, if our text area dot value is empty, then we get the output please enter some text. So after that, if there is value in our if there is value in our text area, then we use the condition is let value equals to text area dot value. Our text area value will stored in that value, and after that, as we know, first of all, the count will be 0. Let count equals to 0. And then we will use for loop for iterating over all. We have to go of our all text, or iterate the all text. And if we use string Neha, then we have to check all that string. So we will use for loop, and in that for loop we use let I equals to 0, and it will goes to I is less than value dot length up to its length, and then I plus plus. Then if we have to check the vowel, so we will use some condition like if value of I, if value of I equals to a, value of I equals to a, or we have if we use the condition, then we only check for the small letters. So at the same time, we use the same condition for the capitals also. So after that, we use for the capital letters. After that, we use for the E, then for the capital E, then I. After that, capital I, then O and U. Last one is A, E, I, O, and A. So we will use for the it's so we use the if condition. If our value of I equals to a or a e I o u in between, then our count will be increases. Then our count increases in this way. And after the increasing the value of count, we will give it color like output dot color output dot, and for changing the css, as we know, we use the style. So output dot style dot color equals to, we make it green. As for the error, we use red color. Here we will use the green color. And after that, we see the count, that is output dot inner text. Output dot inner text equal to, we will use backtext, which is simpler than the double inverted quotes. So total number of vowels equals to, and embed the count statement once. We use here, yes, and we get the output 4. If we use another count is 3 in this way. And now after that, after we getting the output, the value is as it is in the text area. But after getting the count, we have to remove that value from the text area. So just 1 second. So we will make it empty after that. So for making the empty, we use that condition here like text area dot value equals to empty. So Here, if we take any random value and check its count, after that, the text area becomes empty. In this way, we can apply the uh, this property, that is text area dot value equals to empty. In this way, we made our project, and we have another simplest way. But I will suggest you to do that way. Here I have manually take a value of so A, E or I, O, U, and I will give you one task. Uh, you have to you have to store that all value in one variable and then check then the code becomes simpler and it becomes reduced, but I will suggest you to by yourself, then your practice will be done. In this way the project will be completed. Now I will give some recap. So for the project, first of all, my screen was not shared, so again I will explain it. First of all, I had made one container, and at that container, I have wrapped the everything like making one div for heading, then making div for text area. After that, to make one view or button for the check count, and then make an empty div for the output purpose. And in style, universally, I have making the padding and margin 0. And after using the property box sizing border box, everything will be in the one corner, the extra padding and margin not applying on. After that, I use the body uh, for displaying all the for displaying our container in the middle. For that purpose, I use this align item center, justify content center, and for vertically in the center, I use the to override the height, use height equals to 100 VH, and this is background color. And then give the properties to the container, and after that heading, then text area, and then select according to their class or ID. And here is the JavaScript logic. First of all, I have to select everything which is needed for the output, like text area, because we are placing value in text area. After that, we have to click button, then we get the output. So I had select the button. Then our output will be showing the output. So I had select the output. Then we have add the add event listener. So where we will add the add event listener, we add that event listener on the button, because we will click the button and then we get the output. So we use the add event listener to the button. And as we know, to using the add event listener, we are first step is selecting everything as like that. I had select everything and then use add event listener. And this add event listener takes two important properties, like one is the event and another is the function. Here I am using the arrow function. You can use normal function too. So after the clicking, if before that we have to check if the text area value is empty, then we get the warning or output. The please enter the some text. If our text area value is empty, we get the warning. Please enter some text in the red. And if our text area has a some value, I had stored that value in this variable val, and then initially the count is 0. And for checking the how many vowels are there, I using the for loop, simple for loop, and that for loop goes to the value dot length. Our value, if my value is Neha, then add the Neha, it iterate the all over Neha. So I use value dot length and I plus plus, and manually I check for A, E, I, O, U, all capital and small. If I comment out here A, then in the output, if I use Neha, then it will not check for this capital A and get output 1. So here it will only check for the 1. So it uses the I had used for both capital as well as small. And here I had said already, you have to declare in one variable and then check, which becomes the code reduce and become simpler. So after checking that, if that value gets any one of them, A, E, I, O, U, then our count becomes plus plus, count becomes increase. And after count increases, in this output, get the output, and here I embedded the count, and then after that I becomes the text area value empty. So in this way the project is working. Like if you use Arpita, so if we count, then we get the count and the text area is also become empty. So that's all about project. And I will give the recap of all the things, but I had, okay. As I already said that what is late, what is const, and what is var. So there is uh, a little bit difference between var, const, and late. So the difference between var, const, and late is, I will just recap it once. The difference between late is late is we can reassign the value, but can't redeclare. We can't redeclare it. Then uh, const. For the const, we can't redeclare. Guys, I'm doing some spelling mistake, but please try. Try to understand. We can't redeclare as well as we can't reassign for the late purpose. And for the var, we can reassign as well as redeclare them. And it having the function scope. That means if we declared any function and make any variable in that, then it only accessible only within that function. We can't accessible outside the function. Now, uh, reassign. Now in the late purpose, it having the block scope, and also it having also block scope. That means it is only accessible within the that block. After that, there are two types of data types. That is primitive data types and the reference data types. Primitive and reference or non-primitive. In this way, and as we know, primitive have the holds only single value, and it holds the multiple values, and also they are built in, can be manually, and some example are string, number, then boolean, null, and undefined. I had already given the difference between null and undefined. Both are the for same purpose, like absence of value. But the difference is here we have defined one variable, but we can't assign value to it. Then the JavaScript by default gives the output undefined, and null means intentional absence of value. If we declared any variable like age, then we give it null. It is intentional absence of value. Now then, okay, all these are the important concept and which are the most important in the interview purpose, as well as array. For the array, as we know in JavaScript, we can make the array of mixed data types like number, boolean, or string, etc. But in other languages, we can't do that. As well as the most important difference is how to copy primitive data types and how to copy the reference data types, or how to clone the array. And we had already seen that when we copy the array, then we can't copy array like that. Array equals to 1, 3, 6, and delete array 1. And we can't copy like that. Array 2 equals to array 1. When we do these things, and if we dot console array 1, it will copy. It will copy the values, but if we make any change like array1 dot push, we will push here 67. And if we log then array1 as well as array2, array1 and array2, then the change will reflect in both like that. Array1 as well as array2. So this is the wrong method of uh, cloning the array. So for cloning the array, always use the spread operator. So how to use spread operator? Just only use here array2 equals to give three dots and then use array1. Now if we make the changes, then it will not repeat in both, only reflect in the array 1. Yes, array 1, because we change in the array 1 in this way. So this is the important method. Just 1 minute. Then we had seen the array methods like push, pop, unshift, then shift. When you use pop, sorry, when you use push, then the element is add to last. When you use pop, then remove from the last. Then if we use unshift, then add to the start. And if we use shift, then it remove from the start in the same way. But here push and pop are the faster than shift and unshift. You can try it yourself. Take one example and you can try it. Then mm, methods. After that, we had used the for loop, for of loop, and with the array, mostly we use the for of loop, and with the object we use the for in loop. Then we take just a second array and say then DOM. As we know, for the DOM purpose, we use if we have to add, we see the how to select, how to select. We had already see how to select an element by using document dot query selector or get element by ID. Get element Fine. ID. Then for the changing HTML, we are using the inner HTML. And there is difference between inner HTML as well as inner text. So the inner text always shows the text content, and inner HTML it will convert. If we use the H1 tag, then it will convert it into the H1, that is bolder form. And inner text always shows us the text content. In this way, we had already seen all of. So, uh, is it clear, guys? Please give reply. Okay, so thank you, and thank you for giving me this opportunity.